Hello, welcome to my channel. Um, Once again, I'm Ecot Properties, your real estate consultant, the favorite real estate consultant. Today, we're going to be talking about a very important issue that concerns all of us, rich and poor, middle class, everyone is affected, and that is the problem of housing deficit. A recent report shows that currently the Nigerian's housing deficit is estimated to be between 20 to 28 million. Yes, that is the shortfall, that is the deficit we are having. And when it comes to housing units, you might be wondering some people might be wondering what is housing deficit. That is the inadequacies, that is the number of houses we don't have that we are supposed to have based on our population, but we don't have them. We don't have them. So it becomes a problem. And this is, caused by a lot of factors, some of which you already know, you and I already know, because one of such problems or factor that is, contributing to this high number of housing deficit in Nigeria is urbanization. Yes, urban migration. Another one is high cost of construction. And then another problem or factor that is contributing to this housing unit is inefficient government policies. That is, policies that have been made, but they have not been properly implemented. So these are factors, some of the factors that are contributing to this housing deficit in Nigeria. Now, the question is, what does this translate to, or what does it actually mean? Let's break it down. So let's get the statistics, properly broken down. So we said that the housing deficit is estimated to be between 20 million to 28 million housing units. And what is required to bridge this gap is about 5 trillion naira. 5 trillion naira is needed annually to bridge this gap. Yes, this big gap is supposed to be bridged. And then what does it also, mean? So annual housing needs is about 900,000 housing units. About 900,000 housing units are needed to bridge this gap. So when we have about 5 trillion naira annually, budgeted for this, we also need to build up to 900,000 units of housing to bridge this gap. And again, the population increase that is, growing by 2.5% annually is also a factor to be taken into consideration. So that means that we need some money, we need some houses to be built, a large number of houses to be built in our cities so that we'll bridge this gap, we'll, satisfy this huge housing need that we are having. Of course, you and I, like I mentioned earlier, there are factors contributing to this factor. So you might be asking, how does it concern the man on the street? How does it concern, how is it a problem to, after the government is there to fix this problem? Like I mentioned, one of the problems or the factors causing this problem is inefficient government policies. Now, government might have robust and, fantastic ideas when it comes to policies, but our problem in this country has always been implementation of those policies, those beautiful policies. So how do you come in as an investor? Yes, whether you're a long-time investor or you're first-time investor, how do you come in? You are involved, and that's why I am making this video. That's why I'm bringing this to your notice, because we all are in this together. We are all affected, whether you live abroad or you are living in Nigeria. One way or the other, we are affected by the high cost of rents. Yes, you rent a house today for 500,000. The next 2 weeks it is 700,000. 6 months you go there, it's 1 million. And it seems as if the landlords are mean to the ordinary Nigerian. Even if you're not paying high rent, your relative, your friend might be affected, and it has a ripple effect on the cost of living. Generally, one way or the other, you might be affected. So because the man fixing your car will pay high rent, and because of that he will raise the cost of his maintenance. When he's fixing your car, he has to raise the cost, the price. So one way or the other we are affected, and that is why we have to, pull our energy together to make sure that this is taken care of. Now it means that, of course, it's usually said that government has no business doing business. It is staring us on our faces, staring us in the face. It's confirmed. It has been confirmed that the government cannot handle this problem alone, single-handedly. So the private investors have to come in. The entrepreneurs have to come in to help bridge this housing, gap. This big gap that is staring us in the face. What does that mean? Now, the major cities where people are always moving to for greener pasture, like Lagos, the cities of Abuja, Port Harcourt, Enugu, Oka, Anambra, Aba, Asaba, those big cities that are, commercial cities as well as industrial areas. You have to look for a way to buy property in those places, in and around those locations. Buy property, develop, then lease it out. It could be on lease, it could be on rent. Of course, you know that you're not going to be buying property just for you to live there. Check very well whether you're abroad or you're in Nigeria. The house you're living in, you're not the owner of the house you're living in. Even if you're the owner of the house you're living in, that place is not your home. So people migrate, and it's not everybody that can afford to buy land. So if it's not everybody that can afford to buy land and build houses, that means somebody has to build the houses that people will live in. The large populations that are moving into the cities in search of greener pastures, they need apartments, they need residential places, they even need office spaces sometimes. So these needs have to be filled. Yes, someone has to build houses, and that is a very juicy opportunity for you as an investor. You have to buy properties in these places, you develop them, people rent, pay you money, and then you're cashing out annually, biannually, or quarterly, or even 6 months period. So this is a clarion call to all of us, our friends, our brothers in the diaspora. You can set something aside, back here in Nigeria. You can even start a business by proxy, build an apartment, rent it out, hand it over to your aged parents, or even your relatives to be collecting rent. And that's a way to, fix them up. Instead of them calling you all the time to bring money, send money, and all of that, you would have set somebody up. You would have sorted them out in life, and then you would have settled them, and then you're free. Or better still, you set something aside, something that you can fall back to whenever you retire and you want to come home. So instead of going to the village to look for a house to live in, you go to your house, the house you built in the city, and then begin to live there. Or even if you're not going to live in the city, you could go back to the village, but you have an investment in the city. Thriving cities that you can be collecting your rent and still be surviving. And that is it. So like I said, we all are in this together. Do something today. Subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to do that. Like, comment, share. And don't forget to call the number showing on your screen so that I would help you to see, to know how we are going to go about this. If you're interested in investing in any of these major cities as an investor, property investment precisely, you want to buy a house, you want to buy land to develop by yourself, just any of them you want to do, so that we can bridge this housing deficit that we are talking about in Nigeria. We all have to put our hands on that. We all have to do something. Call the number showing on your screen, WhatsApp me or call me so that I can help you to get started on this journey. Investment, property investment, I've always said it is not luxury. It is a necessity. It is a solution to a need, a human need. We all know that housing is one of the basic human needs. Some people in their lifetime might not be able to provide that need for themselves. You have to do something to help provide that solution to the need. Thank you. See you in the next video.